Hey, happy Team Tuesday, everyone. It is September 20th, and I want to welcome you to another phenomenal Team Tuesday. We are just 10 days away, well, really 13 days away from some amazingness as we finish out September and lots of goals and hitting 75 club and beyond. So I'm just so excited for all the activity that's going on in our team. And I just love all the energy that I hear on Voxer and just all the excitement of people joining our mission and lives being changed. So we're part of something really amazing. And I love having David Beavers on this call because he is somebody that has watched my journey right here in Nashville. He's a mentor of mine, and he has known me since I was a little dabbler who didn't think she could, but he thought I could. So he has always been super encouraging in my my Juice Plus journey, and he is a very successful national marketing director, a phenomenal leader, just always full of wonderful wisdom. And I'm just so excited for him to be on here with Amber, who is a brand new national marketing director on his team. So I am going to turn it over to you, David. You were a special request from my team after you spoke on our Qualifiers Club.
Yeah.
I wanted you back. So we're excited to have our second edition with you.
Well, thank you, Kimberly, and I'm glad to be back. Is it Team Energy? I can't imagine why you would be called Team Energy. That whole idea eludes me. Since Kimberly, I'm trying to maybe talk Kimberly into taking a Dale Carnegie course so she can learn to get outside of herself and be a little more expressive, just to find a little more extroversion in her life. Kimberly is like no one else, and she is having a huge impact, and I see her mom down there, and I'm just glad to be with y'all. My role is very simple tonight. I'm not here to teach you a lot of, give you a lot of little pearls and gems to live by. I may slip a few in as I introduce the real speaker tonight. I want to introduce to you and just tell you a little bit about my relationship with Amber Weaver. Amber is a young mom and wife from Commerce, Texas. I'm not exactly sure how long she's been in the business, but what resounds with me I met her on a three-way call initiated by National Marketing Director Kathy Crockett about 3 years ago. And Kathy, as she does so well, she really connects people and puts them in touch with people that maybe can help her and help her team. And she introduced me to Amber. And that was a conversation that has marked me forever. In fact, if some of you, probably you won't recall it, but I was the closing speaker at the 2014 Phoenix Leadership Conference. And in that talk, which was about hope and vulnerability, I told Amber's story, in part the one that she shared with me, that three-way call with Kathy Crockett. And I'm not going to go into what that story was, but what I met that day was a remarkable young woman. And that has just been reinforced over and over, because what I've seen come out of her, it might be, if you're taking notes, I'm not giving a talk, but if you're taking notes and you want to know sort of the markers for potential success, I saw them in Amber that day. And this is what I saw in this young woman, this young mother, a combination of vulnerability that I'd never seen before, and a thing called teachableness. I had a wonderful professor in seminary, and he really put high on his list of factors for personal and spiritual development is a person's teachableness. He said teachableness is the capacity for growth. And the more teachable a person is, the more likely they are to grow. And if you've heard me speak, you know that your business will grow as you will grow. Mm-hmm. And that's what Amber is exemplified. She's also, I found this out, I'm just doing some three-way calls with her, asking her to help me with some people not on her team. She is a phenomenal listener. She just, in this age of everything's better if it's faster, she breaks those rules and she just kind of hones down and listens and empathizes and hears people and is able to give them direction in a way that is really beyond her years of experience. So she's a great listener. So it's been a privilege. And Tammy is one of these people that I work with. Amber and Tammy and two others are on a Zoom call with me. I don't know how long we've been doing it. It seems like many, many months, maybe almost maybe a year almost. Every Monday morning we come together, 4 women and myself, and it's been, for me, just in that little cocoon from 8 to 9 a.m. every Monday morning, just the richest experience in my Juice Plus experience in 28 years. Watching these people grow, open, develop, struggle, work through issues. It's, as you will learn as you do the business, this is much more than just counting numbers and recruiting. It's about building relationships and working through your own personal issues so that you can be the best that you can be and lead your team the way you need to lead your team. So we've spent a lot of time on that call developing processes and comparing that process to the kind of results we want to get. And there's a big difference between process and results. And I'm just going to, before I give you Amber, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about her own journey to National Marketing Director. She made National Marketing Director officially 2 months ago. But a month or two prior to that, she actually met the requirements for National Marketing Director. And if this may be a little bit above some of your heads, if you're not familiar with what we teach in terms of required structure and qualifiers and pay line, she went way past that. But in her own mind, she decided to wait another month to deepen and strengthen that structure and those qualifiers that had stepped up. She finished National Marketing Director with an 8-3 structure and 15 or 16 qualifiers. And because she waited and watched that develop and mature, the next month, now typically what happens to new National Marketing Directors, there's this flurry of activity, there's this surge and squeezing in numbers at the last minute, and it kind of, you hope it holds on over to the next month or two, but often what happens is it kind of stumbles and falters a little bit, and you kind of go back and rebuild some of those pieces that you rushed a little bit in the beginning. She finished, made National Marketing Director with that 8-3 structure, 15 qualifiers. The next month, her second month as a National Marketing Director, she finished with a 9-4 structure and 20 qualifiers. So she had the structure and the stability because of her leadership to go from that great position to an even greater position. So I'm not sure what she's going to be sharing with you tonight, but I encourage you to take notes, listen, and watch her as she leads this conversation and gives you insights into her own life and how she leads her team by example. So it's my privilege to introduce one of the newest National Marketing Directors with the Juice Plus Company, Amber Weaver. We're glad to have you, Amber.
No pressure. Okay, now I know you're listening and you're watching. No, it really is an honor to get to be here. And David, thank you. I know that, for Kimberly to even ask us to come on tonight, it really says so much about the trust that she has for David. She trusts David. And then, of course, that he would trust me to ask me. So it truly is an honor to get to be here. And just to kind of share with you guys a little bit about my story, I am just a normal, mom, wife. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease when I was 19, and then, had treatment, just kind of did exactly what the doctors told me to do, and had my son Ben. 3 months after having him, he was diagnosed with RSV, which is fairly common today. I hear more and more about that. But when I think about it, I think, I was kind of an unhealthy mom having an unhealthy child. And we lived with a breathing machine on the kitchen counter. I was constantly just pumping his little body full of antibiotics and steroids and breathing treatments. And I would have said to you, we're a healthy family. I thought that was normal. I thought everyone had allergies. And so, if it runs in the family or it's something that your grandparents had, well, yeah, you should have it too. But, you know, really what happened, I decided that I wanted to be healthier. I ended up joining a boot camp and going to work out with some women, and the trainer there shared Juice Plus, and she talked about how it was just fruits and vegetables in a capsule or chewable, and it made sense to me that I needed more fruits and vegetables, my son needed more, but I did nothing. And interestingly enough, I fell in love with that fitness program, and I ended up purchasing a franchise with them. And as I was looking into and researching this company that I was going to spend, you know, tens of thousands of dollars to buy, I also began to research the only product that they recommended, which happened to be Juice Plus. And this company, you know, was focused on whole health, and they were also only, you know, going to recommend something that was whole food nutrition. And so as I began to research Juice Plus, I thought, well, yeah, I'm spending all this money on this company. I'm going to pay $50, become a distributor, and my son and I will start eating Juice Plus. And so at that moment, officially, I joined the business. Okay, so I paid my $50. I'm a rep. I'm officially in the business. But we're just eating Juice Plus, and I am pouring my life literally into growing a franchise from nothing, from the ground up. And just to give you a little bit of background on me, I love entrepreneurship. I think it's just kind of in my blood. But I have a business degree. I've done lots of different things, taught business school, all of that. And then, you know, here I am with this franchise, and I'm living the American dream, right? Where you're building your dreams, you're really a slave to this job. You have no life, okay? And so I loved it. I was getting to pour into people. But you guys, if I didn't go to work, if I didn't show up to train, I was not going to get paid. Okay, so there's no vacation, there's no time where you can't have your computer or have your phone. There are things that are required of you. And somewhere along the way, I sat down at our kitchen counter, and I quickly realized that 18 months had gone by from when we had started eating Juice Plus. 18 months had passed by as if it was a day. That's how busy life really was. But I sat down and I was filling out the Children's Health Study survey for my son, Ben, and it just simply asked that question, you know, have you made less trips to the doctor? And I could not remember the last time that we had been. So I called my husband. He could not remember. I called our doctor's office, and it had been a full year. And it was in that moment that I just had, you know, this urgency to share with other moms. But you guys, at this point, still remember, I've just paid the $50 to be in the business. I'm a happy wholesale buyer. I have no idea what Juice Plus even has to offer in terms of a company, and yet I've been a part of it for about 18 months. So I am telling moms, you guys have got to give your kids more fruits and vegetables. Like, I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you just shop more in the produce section, but you have to get more into them. Here's what's happened to us. So I knew that I needed to tell, but it wasn't necessarily about Juice Plus. I accidentally got to BF. Okay, so Kathy Crockett calls me one day in the middle of Target. She tells me, you know, hey, you need one order to get to BF. But here's kind of what happened, and this is so long ago, we didn't have HLPs. It was still what's now the 2000 plus. It was like a 10-110 or something like that. And so I get a $250 check in the mail. And you guys, like, money doesn't show up in my mailbox typically, especially at this point. Bills do. And so that $250 check comes in the mail, and I'm like, well, this is fun. How do I do more of this? And Kathy Crockett waited just long enough for me to get that $250 check, and then she calls me up, and she says, Amber, I know you have negative time, because those are words I had used with her before. But would you give me just 30 minutes? I would like to have a conversation with you. And in those 30 minutes, she began to talk to me about residual income. And she began to talk to me about how I truly was swapping time for money. But if I would leverage my time through this company, you know, these are the things that could happen. And I get to sales coordinator. I meet David, and as you can see, the call that I had with David that day, it was life changing for me. The relationships that began to grow, and our team, rocked along. We got to senior sales coordinator, and then we got to QNMD, and that happened about a year ago. It was in the summertime. And so then here we were, we're on this journey to NMD, to National Marketing Director. We're going to do it. And, guys, there were some things that had to happen during that time. And that's really where I feel like my story kind of picks up today as a new NMD. There were some shifts that needed to happen with my thinking, some paradigm shifts that needed to be made. And, it can start out from something as simple with the product as, your DNA is not your destiny. Okay, those can kind of become like cliche things that we say, but we all know that that's true. Just because allergies and asthma ran in our family didn't mean that we had to be a victim to that. But there were other things that I began to somewhat wrestle with and struggle with that I had to just go through. And I really think that's the beauty of my journey. I'm thankful for the way that it happened. I'm thankful for me that it was what it was. If it was 12 months and that was the journey I was supposed to be on, I'd be thankful for that. But for me, it was over 4 years and 18 months at first. I had no clue what I was doing. So the first thing that I realized was I had an experience. I had an experience with the product, and that's what ignited this desire to share. It was not when I paid my $50 that I joined the mission. It was when I actually felt like, yes, I need to share this with other moms. It was that day that I actually joined the mission to inspire healthy living. And that's something that's so important with me, because I really believe that that's the heart of our company. We are mission driven. We're not just about a product or a business. We are about helping people. And I love knowing that every day I inspire people that, may or may not even buy Juice Plus from me. So that's awesome. It's a gift that I get to have that. But, there were times as I was walking this journey, I remember thinking, well, what if someone just thinks that I'm trying to make money off of them? How am I going to navigate that? And I don't know where you are in this business. You may be like, yeah, I'm way past that, but you may be new, and that may be something that comes up. And I just had to realize that was about me. All of a sudden, I was looking inward, and I was afraid of what people were going to think about me, versus having the courage to just risk whatever they were going to think because of what their need was. And I can tell you, David and I have talked, I didn't want to give my National Marketing Director speech. That's going to happen at this next conference. And there were times that I truly believe I did not allow myself to make NMD or push hard enough or whatever that's going to look like, because I was afraid. I was afraid of the recognition that, I just, there were all these layers of things. And, again, that was about me. And so much of our business is about just becoming selfless. It's about seeing that, yes, you may be uncomfortable, but those people before you have a need to hear your story. They have a need, to hear about this product or to hear about this business. And even today, something happened. I was on a call with Catherine Lee. Many of you may know her. You may have heard about her, but I want to share with you what she shared with us today on this call, because as I've been going through this exercise, I think it is so worthy of being passed on. And I'm one of those people, just like I could not share Juice Plus, when I know something or hear something, I have to tell it. It's just who I am. But she started to talk about the options that Juice Plus gives us. And that really is what freedom is about. It's the option to choose, right? So we have free will in life. We have, Juice Plus provides maybe the options with our health. The business could provide options with our finances or even our lifestyle. But then also this community and this culture provides options for us. And so she asked our group to make a list of all of the options that we have today, right now, because of Juice Plus. So because of Juice Plus, what options do you have in your life? What options do you have with your health? with your finances, with your time, you know, all of those things. And then she said, this is what you have to offer people. And when you think about that, you own those options. So today I got to go to my daughter's school. They were having a back to school ball, and I got to be a part of, you know, helping get it decorated. That's an option that I have in my life. I have options. I get to have a little boy in middle school now who can never remember to take everything to school, and I have to run it up there. That's an option I have. You know, if I need to be at home, I don't have to call someone to take off from work. It's an option. But what options do you want in the future? And those things that you want in the future are really going to determine your goals. That's going to determine what it is that you want. And along this journey, what I realized was that Juice Plus was a vehicle. And I want to just kind of share with you something that Karen Jones, who is a regional director for the company, she's not in our region, but I got to spend some time with her. And she just asked me a very straightforward question. She has, I love her voice, and she just has this way of saying things, but she just simply said, if this is truly the path that you believe God has put you on, why would you not set it on fire? Mm-hmm. And that question, you know, it was one of those days where you'll never be the same. It's a turning point in life. And so as I began to think about that, all of a sudden I realized she's exactly right. You know, however life had navigated itself, I have landed right here. And if you're on this call tonight, guess what? You're right here. And so many times we're so bent out of shape, obsessing about, you know, is this the right path? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be? What's, you know, the purpose of my life? That we're missing the things that they're right here in front of us. If Juice Plus was the end all, well, yeah, I might look at it differently, but it is a vehicle for me to realize my dreams and to live those dreams. It's a vehicle for me to share better health with people. It's a vehicle for me to share anything, any option that it's given to me. And as I realize that there are more options that I want in life, the future is bright, because this company actually has the ability to be the vehicle to take me to those options. And so really, for me, what I began to realize was that I needed to bloom right where I was planted. And we hear that all the time, you know, bloom where you're planted. You know, but what is it that's right in front of you that could truly be the key to unlocking, you know, your future, to unlocking a conversation, to, you know, all of those things, what Catherine Lee shared today, just being present and listening to her, how that impacted my entire day to think about the options. And as I saw people, and I always will just kind of, you know, pray for eyes that see and ears that hear people, you know, what are their needs? It's about them. And so David kind of shared, he alluded to that I like to go slow. And I really have sort of embraced this. You go small, you go slow to go fast. You go small to go big. We live in a society and a culture where everything is somewhat mass produced and it's mass communicated. And I believe that people are craving relationship. They're craving just something to be a part of. You know, so I know that there are multiple reasons why people join this business, but one of the greatest gifts that I believe it has to offer is the community. It's the relationships with people. And just like tonight, you know, hopefully there's something that you're going to hear that either David said or that I'm saying. It's going to resonate with you, and it's kind of a turning point. And what it hopefully will allow you to do is to start to ask yourself, you know, where have I been planted? You know, this is a path that I'm on. What does that look like? What are the things that I want? What options do I have? What options do I want? And how can I, you know, partner with the company, with your upline to make that a reality? It's been so amazing to see me reaching my dreams inspire other people on my team to reach theirs. And so as I close, I just want to tell you guys a story. I love stories. About a little over a year ago, it was actually right before the California conference. In the midst of our fitness franchise, I was recruited by our university to teach public speaking to business students. And it was the day before I was supposed to fly to California. I had on heels, and so if you're a female, you can kind of get this, cute little dressy pants that were wide legged, and they had a cuff on them. And I've got my hands full, and I'm going 90 to nothing in my normal style. And all of a sudden, the heel of my shoe got caught in the cuff of one of those pants as I was walking down the stairs, and I ended up falling down a flight of stairs. And this side of my head crashed into a brick wall, and this side of my head crashed into the concrete. And so I woke up to firemen right in front of me, and I had a really severe concussion. Well, it was not severe enough, clearly, because I'm hard-headed, and I asked if I could please still fly to California. And even though they should not have let me, they did. Okay, so at the conference, my vision is blurred. I really can't see. There's a lot of it I don't even remember. But I come home from conference, and after you've had a really bad concussion, there's still kind of some effects of that down the road. And one of those things is you're sort of fearful. It's like your brain is kind of on guard. You don't want to get hurt. And we live out in the country, or our land where we're building is out in the country. We live in an apartment right now. But anyway, that's fun with kids. But I'm driving down the road, and there are signs up that say that the bridge is out, that they're working on this bridge. And I'm thinking, well, the road's not closed, the bridge isn't closed. Is the bridge open? Is it okay? They've been working on it. I don't know. And I'm at this point where I cannot turn around in my car. I actually have to make a decision. Am I going to cross the bridge and trust that it's okay? Or am I going to put my car in reverse, and I'm going to have to literally back up until I can turn around? Call my husband. I call for help. That's what we normally do. I call my husband, and no service. He's not answering. So I put my car in reverse. And about the time that I get to a point where I can almost turn around, another vehicle passes and crosses this bridge. And you guys, I see it happen with my own two eyes, but I roll my window down and I flag this woman down. I mean, she's probably like, who is this? And I said to her, so the bridge is open, it's okay to pass? I mean, it's okay to cross it? And she's like, yes. Like, she just crossed it. Hello. I'm like, okay, because I was so nervous that maybe they just forgot to put the sign back up and it wasn't supposed to be open and they've gone to lunch. And she's like, no, actually, I've gone over it 2 times now. It's completely safe. She was so kind and gracious to me. And as I crossed that bridge, what I realized was that's a picture of what we do. Every time that we cross a bridge, every time that we share our story, every time that we reach a goal, we allow ourselves to set the goal, and we allow ourselves to put in the work, and we allow ourselves to even receive the recognition. It gives someone else permission to do the same. And since that day, all I can think about is I just want to be a bridge crosser. I just want to be the one that crosses the bridge so that everyone else sees that it's safe and they can do it too. And I am so excited that in November, I get to come to Nashville and I get to meet Kimberly in person there. And we get to just help people cross bridges. That's what this business is. That's what this company is about. And so thank you guys for letting me just share a little bit of my story tonight. It's been fun.
Kimberly, do you want to come back on and say goodbye? Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I guess I'm a little speechless. That was awesome. And I love that story, Amber. That was powerful.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I will just, first we'll see everybody in St. Louis.
Yes.
And then we'll see you in Nashville. Can't wait. We'll have a great time.
I'm gonna stop the recording.